Hey guys, welcome back to History and Stitches, and today we have got a special for spooky season. So I've decided to change it up a little bit. In this video I'm going to show you how to make the pattern and do all that, and then I'll have a companion video that I will post that will go into the history of Halloween, and it'll be something you can put on and kind of listen to while you're crocheting. So what we're going to make today are these cute little crocheted pumpkins with bobbles on them. I made this one. This one's kind of classy with just like the white cream yarn. I made this one that's more kind of a Halloween color. And I'm in the middle of working on one that's kind of a Beetlejuice theme. So I'm going to show you how to make this basic pattern. So the good thing about this pattern is that you can change it up a little bit. I'm going to show you what I did to make this size of a pumpkin. But as long as you end up with a rectangle in the end, you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to make it into a pumpkin. So all you need is yarn, and I'm using size 4 yarn. So for the one I'm going to make for you all, I'm just going to use this red heart stuff because I find it's easier to see the stitches when you use a light color yarn. So I'm just using this. For this fun pumpkin, I got this at Joann. It's the Big Twist value, and it was just this color. Let's see what color it is. It says, oh, the color is spooky season. So it was a Halloween kind of thing. So you need yarn. You need one of these tapestry needles. You'll need that to sew at the end. You're going to need a hook, and I've been using a size 4 hook. You don't have to get this ergonomic one, but it really does help. So you need a size 4 hook, and then you're going to need some stuffing. Obviously not this much. This is just a bargain bag I got. So to start your project, I will put the pattern on the screen, but I'm going to show you how to do all of it. All right, so to get started, you're just going to tie a slip knot like this. Get it on your hook. Remember, knitting people, this does not count as one of your chains, okay? And do try and keep your chains loose, otherwise it just makes it difficult to do your pumpkin. So we're going to do 27 chains. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so after you've chained on 27, what you're going to do is you're going to skip this first chain. You're going to skip the first one, and in the second chain from the hoop, you're going to do a single crochet, and then you're going to single crochet all the way down this row to kind of give it a foundation and some stability. So I'm going to single crochet right in here, this second one here, and then I'm going to go ahead and single crochet all the way down the row. Now what I will advise you is if you're working with this size 4 hook and you're working with size 4 yarn, the yarn's a little big for the hook, but you kind of need it that way so that the stuffing doesn't show through on your pumpkin. So just be careful not to split the yarn as you are crocheting. So we're going to single crochet all the way down the row. All right, so when you're done single crocheting that row, you can count your stitches. You should have 26 single crochets on this row. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn, you're going to chain 1, and then we're going to start our very first bobble row. So we turn, let's chain 1, and then we're going to start the bobbles. So now you're going to start in the very first stitch here and do 2 single crochets. So 1, get some more yarn here coming out, 2. So at each end of your pumpkin, you're going to end up with 2 single crochets at the ends of all the bobbles. So you're going to do 2 single crochets, a bobble, 2 singles, a bobble, 2 singles. But when you get down here, you're going to end up with a bobble and then 2 singles with no room to do that last bobble. That's the way we want it. So to do the bobble stitch, here's what you're going to do. You're going to yarn over once, stick it in this next stitch, yarn over and pull it through. So now you should have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2. You're basically going to do that 3 more times. Okay, so we've done it once, so we're going to yarn over again, go through our stitching, pull another yarn through. We should have 4 on our hook now. Do it again. So now we have 3. You're going to keep that process until you get 5 of these, okay? So we're going to do it again. Yarn over, through, and we're going through the same stitch every time. We're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, and now we've got 4. We need to do it one more time. So yarn over, through the same stitch, grab the yarn from the back, yarn over again, pull through 2, and now we have 5 loops on our hook. And now we're going to yarn over once, pull through the whole thing, and that's going to give us our bobble stitch right here. After that, you are just going to go through this next stitch here, single crochet, and then do it again, another single crochet, and then we're going to do another bobble. So we'll do it again. Okay, so here's our bobble. We got the next stitch here, yarn over, through the stitch, grab the yarn, through 2. We're going to do that 3 more times. Yarn over, through the stitch, grab the yarn, yarn over, through 2. And see, I just split my yarn right there. So yarn over, through the stitch, grab it, over, through 2, yarn over, through the stitch, grab it, yarn over, through 2, and now we've got 4. We need to do it one more time. Yarn over, through the stitch, grab it, yarn over, through 2, and now we should have 5 loops on there, which we do. We're going to yarn over one more time, pull it through all of them. So you're going to finish that pattern all the way down the row. You've got your bobble now, 2 single crochets, bobble, 2 single crochets, and like I said, you're going to end on 2 single crochets. So go ahead and finish that row. Okay, let me show you one more time on the bobble. Okay, we're in this next stitch, yarn over, through the stitch, grab the yarn from the back, pull through. Now you have 3. Yarn over, going through the first 2 loops. Same thing, yarn over, through the same stitch, grab it from the back, yarn over, pull through the first 2. Now you have 3 on there. Yarn over, through the same stitch, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull it through the first 2. Now you've got 4. You're going to do it one more time. Yarn over, through the same stitch, pull it through, yarn over, through the first 2. Now you have 5. Yarn over again, through those last 5, and that's how you make your bobble stitch. Okay, so now you've finished your first row of bobbles. Like I said, you should end on 2 single crochets. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn, do another chain, and then you've got to go back to single crochets. But to me, this is kind of the toughest part because you need to end up with 26 single crochets, and because you've done those bobbles, it can be a little bit difficult to figure out where you're going. So it helps me if I count in 3s. So here's my first one. I'm going to go 1. My second one ends up right here near the top of that bobble. 2. And then my third one is actually through the top of the bobble. You can see kind of a little V right here. So that's my stitch right here. 3. There's my 3 single crochets for that bobble set. Okay, so you're just going to make sure you get 3 every time. So 1, 2, right next to the bobble, and 3 right there on top of the bobble. 1, 2, 3. All right, so you're going to finish doing that all the way down the row. Okay, and then when you get to the end of the row, remember you did 1, 2, 3, you got your bobble. You just need 2 more. So 1, 2. Now you should have 26 across the top again. You're going to turn and chain and then do another row of single crochet all the way down. Okay, so now what you should have all together, you've done your chain row, a row of single crochets, bobble, a row of single crochets, a row of single crochets. Now the bobble is a sided stitch. You don't want to end up on the wrong side and then have your bobbles on the back of your pattern. So in order to make it work out, you need to do 3 rows of single crochet after every row of bobbles. That way you're headed back in the right direction when you're doing your bobble stitch. So we've done 2. Go ahead and do 1 more row of single crochets. So do your turn, your chain, and then single crochet all the way across this row. Okay, so I just did my 3 rows of single crochet. And so now it's time for me to do a bobble row again because I'll be facing the right way. So you're going to do the same thing, chain, turn, and then do a bobble row. So you're doing 2 single crochets, a bobble, 2 single crochets, bobble, etc., etc. Now you're going to repeat this pattern as many times as you want to make the rectangle. So for this pumpkin that I made, I did that pattern 11 times because I have 11 rows of bobbles. So this would be 1 set. So you're going to do bobble, 3 rows of single crochet, bobble, 3 rows of single crochet, and get that rectangle as big as you want it for your pumpkin. Like I said, this size is good, and it's 11 sets of those bobbles. Okay, so you're at the point now where you have crocheted your rectangle. Now, after this last row of bobbles, you want to make 2 more rows of single crochet and then fasten off. So I'm going to make my 2 rows of single crochet, and then I'll show you how you fasten off and then what you do to finish up the pumpkin. Okay, so you've done your 2 extra rows of single crochet after the line of bobbles. So now you're going to fasten off, but I want you to leave a really long tail. So leave a long tail, cut it, so you've got a long tail, you've cut it, now you're going to fasten off. So what you're doing is I've started to make my last single crochet, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tail, wrap it around, pull it through, but I'm going to keep pulling, and that's going to basically make the knot to finish my piece. Okay, so now fastened off, it's not going to come undone, it's all perfect. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take this tail that you just cut, and I know it's really long, but that's going to be okay, and you're going to put a tapestry needle on it. So put your tapestry needle like this. And then you're going to take this pumpkin and fold the right sides together. So you want the bobbles to be inside when you fold it. So fold it like this. And make sure you're folding it the way you stitched it, so that this end of 2 meets this end of none. Okay, so you've got it folded with the bobbles inside. And now you're gonna sew. So you're gonna take this tapestry needle that you had, and you're just gonna go and do basically a whip stitch through each stitch. So you go through just that top layer of both sides, and you're gonna sew it up down the side. So just keep going all the way down like this and just whip stitch. Okay, when you get to the end, you're going to just go ahead and do your typical sewing knot. So you're going to go through both sides. And then when you have this little loop left at the end here, you're going to take your needle and go back up through the loop and then pull it tight so that it makes a knot. Now don't cut your yarn yet because you're still going to use it. But now you've got that side sewed up so you have a big cylinder like this. Okay? So now what you're going to do is you're going to turn it right side out so that the bobbles are on the outside, like this. And you're going to make sure all the loose strings are on the inside. So this one loose string I had from when I started, and then of course the bobble, or the yarn I had just now, is going to be on the inside. You're going to find the side that the yarn is attached to, like this. And what you're going to do is you need to cinch this up to make the size of the pumpkin. So you're just going to take this needle and weave in and out of the top stitches right here. See, just back and forth like this. And once you get a bunch on your needle, you know, you can pull the yarn through a little bit, but you're just going to go back and forth all the way around the pumpkin. All right, and eventually you're going to get back to where you started and make sure you overlap a little bit. And then you're just going to go ahead and pull that really tight. So see, we're all the way around now, but when I pull it tight, it gathers that bottom up for the bottom of your pumpkin. So you're going to pull it as tight as you can without breaking your yarn. If you break your yarn, it's not a great thing. And then you're going to kind of try and get your needle to get a little bit of the yarn and pull that knot tight. So you're just going to knot that yarn again like that and pull it tight. So now you have the bottom of your pumpkin. And if you don't want your yarn to show, it's real easy. You're just going to take your yarn and go through the bottom of the pumpkin and pull it out the top, and then all of your yarn is stuck inside, so the bottom is clean. And now it's time to stuff it. So you're going to get some stuffing and stuff it as full as you want it. Like that. And this one, I will admit, the first pumpkin I made, this one, I told you we had 11 sets of bobbles. This one I only did 9 because I wanted to see how an oblong pumpkin kind of turned out. So this one's probably going to be a little bit taller than the other pumpkins. So maybe a little more stuffing. And then once you've got it stuffed, you're going to do the same thing around the top of that pumpkin. You're going to take this yarn and go in and out all the way around this pumpkin so we can cinch it together too around this side. Okay, and then once you get around to the seam again, you're just going to take that needle and pull it tight again. And do the same thing you did before. You want it as tight as possible without breaking this yarn. So tie it tight. And then you're going to take another kind of chunk out of the top. And make that knot. So now you don't want this string hanging out, so you're going to take your needle and go back down through the pumpkin. And that kind of takes some feels to get it through all that stuffing. But you want the needle to come right back out the bottom. like this, and you're going to pull that yarn tight so it's hidden. And if you pull it real tight and then cut it, the yarn will just disappear right up into that pumpkin and you'll never see it again. So now you don't see any of the seams or anything. Okay, so now you've got the shape of your pumpkin. You can do whatever you like with it now. So you can kind of shape it, you can squish it if you want it a little bit shorter. I like to use these little cinnamon sticks and put them in the top for the stem and just set it there. You can hot glue it in there if you want, but if you want to be able to take it out, if you're storing it, then you can just set it in the top. You can tie a little twine around it, tie a little yarn, some ribbon, whatever you want to do, but you've got your cute little pumpkin now. So hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to check out our History of Halloween episode so that you have something to listen to while you are crocheting. And we will see you for our next project.